Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast. Your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. It's Marvel Monday here on our show. I am Sam. Joining me to talk about Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2, it's Stefan.
Marvel Monday is back.
Yeah, it's going to roll for a good few weeks. Going to take us into Christmas anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Hawkeye, Disney Plus original live action show set inside the MCU.
Yes.
It's one that ever since it was announced I've been looking forward to. I tend to say that about all of them, I've noticed.
Yeah, so, I have this, like, a Marvel film comes out and I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I guess I'm a fan.
I've been saying that, I can actually say, as of recording this podcast and it being Marvel Monday,
yeah,
I even booked my tickets this morning.
So that is
Talking
Spider-Man.
of fan excitement, yes.
Yeah,
They're not doing a midnight release. Unbelievable.
I was about to say to you, is there a midnight release? No. I'm sure I read that like a lot of people were like, no, they're not doing it.
No, they're not. I've got to go to the cinema at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's sad for you.
Oh no, cinema should be an evening. For me, cinema is always an evening thing, but I'm going at 10 in the morning because that way I can then actually go on social media.
Do you know the only film I've ever done that for was Star Wars, Episode 7. Because I was convinced that people would, it'd be ruined for me. You know, I was like, I have to go see it. The day it comes out, I'm going to do it first show and they go in the morning. And then no one can spoil this film for me.
Do you know I did the midnight release for that one. It's the only midnight release I've ever regretted going to.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed 7. 8 I didn't, but I enjoyed 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is Hawkeye. This is season 1 of the show. Not sure if it's a one and done, but we shall find out. Rumours are it might be ongoing, but not with Clint.
I have fears for Clint. I have fears.
You think he might not actually make it out of this series?
I don't think he makes episode 6.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll come on to that. But anyway, this is episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1 is titled "Never Meet Your Heroes."
Yes.
Have you ever met someone that you kind of like hero or idol or someone and then were really disappointed?
Not so much hero idol. I once met an old rapper.
Yeah.
And I liked their music and he was an absolute insert bleep.
Yeah. Don't name.
Never listened to his music again after that. I refused. As a DJ at the time, I refused to play his records. I was like, nope, he doesn't deserve it.
Now, I met a lot of people in rugby who I kind of idolised as a kid, and one of them was awful. Like the vast majority, like 99% of everyone I ever met in that were wonderful people, really kind, really warm, really helpful as well. Would really talk. This guy was just awful. Just like you meet some people and you just go, "Wow, you're actually an awful human being." It's no.
See, I've been lucky enough. Year before?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we got to go to the Walker Stalker. Stuff and Things went to the Walker Stalker. Yeah. I got to meet a load of people from The Walking Dead. All but one of them was lovely.
Yeah, don't name.
I won't mention her name, but no.
I think we did actually at the time, but we're not going to do it again now.
No.
But yeah, so Never Meet Your Heroes, that title of the episode made me laugh. Then episode 2 was called Hide and Seek.
Yes.
So no, that was quite funny. Episode 3 is available from the 1st of December. They're releasing them on a Wednesday. I'm still not entirely sure why they've gone to Wednesdays, but they have. I think they're trying to be unique compared to everybody else.
It seemed to work. Loki got put there and everyone just thought it was, Loki mischief, Wednesday, not Friday, ha ha. Yeah. Oh, it seems to work with viewing figures. Okay, we'll keep it.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. So yeah, episode 3 is going to be the 1st of December, episode 4 the 8th, episode 5 the 15th, and then the final episode 6, is going to be the 22nd of December. Very Christmassy.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're going to go into the 2 episodes. We're just going to sort of dive around with things, and I've written a load of bullet points, and we'll just sort of talk about it, and obviously you'll have things you want to jump on as well.
Yeah.
I want to just say that one of the rumours about the show, well, there's a load of rumours about the show. One of the biggest rumours is obviously from the Black Widow film, the end credits or the after credits of the film. You see Yelena be confronted and basically told to go after Clint as the man who killed her sister.
That's it. She's on holiday, but she says, no, you're going to want this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of talk of Yelena showing up in Hawkeye.
Yep.
Everything's denied. There were no leaked images or set pictures. And keep in mind that this show was shot in and around New York a lot. So there are lots of pictures, and have been lots of pictures of Clint and, his sidekick circulating for a long time. So it will be really interesting, and I do like it when they've managed to keep stuff under wraps. So,
it will be very interesting if they manage to pop in any secrets, considering most of it was filmed around people in New York.
Let's face it, everyone's got a phone nowadays. Like, oh look, that's so and so.
If I was walking down the street and one of the cast members from a Marvel thing walked past me, that phone is going to be out in record time.
Yeah, exactly. It ain't going to be quiet. So it's going to be interesting. Also, the dynamic with Yelena is going to be interesting because how much does Clint know about her? Did Natasha talk about her? We get the impression she didn't open up to anyone, but if she were to open up to anyone, I imagine it would have been Clint.
Yeah, he would be the one. They might have spoken about it in one of their little journeys.
Yeah, exactly. When they were in Budapest.
Exactly, yes.
And he was firing arrows into the building. So there's that aspect of it was kind of interesting. The other big rumour I've heard, and the big rumour is kind of really fitting for this, is we're going to get the character Kingpin.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
But we're going to get the comic book exaggeratedly huge version. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm liking how everything is still kind of fairly grounded.
Yeah, I mean,
don't go over the top just for the sake of it, It's still kind of... Especially these kind of... The mini ones they've done. Taken away Wanda, because that was just mental.
Yeah.
But especially... Captain America, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I had to think for a second there. That was very kind of gritty and down and grounded and kind of realism based. I'm hoping this kind of goes the same way. I like that.
Me too. I like it. And there's an aspect of this which I'm going to come on to in a minute, which I think really kind of does ground it. But I like the Kingpin character. Me and you watched the Marvel Netflix shows.
Yes.
And we were fans of those. And the character of Kingpin in that was, for me, excellent. The guy was a big guy.
He was fantastic. Yep.
Imposing. The actor was fantastic. And by the way, the rumour is it is the same actor.
Which I will be very happy about.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled, because I think he nailed that character. But what worries me is they're going to cartoon him. If you put that guy, who's a big, imposing guy, into a giant fat suit, I'm going to get taken out. I'm not going to feel the same. It's just going to be, that's, it's comic book. It's nonsense. That's. And I know all of this is based on comic books, so people please don't misread what I'm saying with that. But, I hope you know what I mean. It's like there's comic book and there's content which you then transfer to cinema. You don't do it like for like. Like, the costumes for the characters have changed. What was drawn on a page to be very bright and colourful to make a comic book pop doesn't work in the cinema, So things have changed. You would adapt it to make it live action, to make it cinematic. And that's what Marvel Studios have done brilliantly with all of this. Iron Man, everything. That's why the MCU works. for me, if you make it cartoony, you're going back to what comic book movies were before Marvel Studios. You know, you think about the first Ben Affleck in that bloody god awful version of Daredevil. You know, with,
that was awful. I remember that one. Yeah,
so like Colin Farrell with the bullseye tat on it. Man, it was awful. So bad. But comic book films were like that. You know, those films were really naff. Really,
even to an extent of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
Mate, awful.
They were awful.
Cartoony-ish, and, you know, CGI heavy, but in a really cartoony way. And it just takes you out. You know, you don't feel granted. And don't get me wrong, some of them, you know, you sit and watch it like, oh, that was okay. You know, that was all right. You know, that was entertaining, and the kids probably liked it. But you know, this is films that are supposed to be set 12A and up. You know, these are films that are supposed to be set in a way that people who are older enjoy it, and you want it to be more grounded, more realistic, and that's what Marvel Studios have done. That's what they've done with the MCU. Even when they've incorporated like magic and stuff, and me and you have been like, oh, I don't know how this is going to work. How are they going to keep that grounded? They've managed to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fantastical things happening, but it's managed to keep the grounding. So I really hope that rumour's not true. We're going to have to wait and see, but there is a very good reason why I think the rumour of Kingpin appearing full stop is true, which I'll come on to. But yeah, that's one of the rumours.
Fair enough.
So I want to start with literally the start. The start of episode 1 shows a young Kate Bishop, and she's in New York in 2012. Yeah. How quickly, when you saw 2012 and saw it was New York, did you pick up on what was going to happen?
So, quite a fun one for you. So, it said 2012, and I went, oh, Battle of New York!
Yeah.
Like, instantly. And then about a minute later, when it was just about her and her family, I turned around to my wife and was like, maybe not Battle of New York.
No,
okay, then.
No, straight away.
And then a few seconds later, I was like, nope, it is.
Yeah, I saw it was New York, saw it was 2012, and I thought, this is an origin story. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
What I think I messaged you, and I was like, dude, there's something in this straight away that gives us a brilliant thing to talk about on the podcast, which is something that Captain America Civil War tried to bring into us, which is these guys, these superheroes that we are watching and we are following, do these amazing things and fighting aliens and are kicking ass.
Yeah.
People are dying. All around them.
Yeah.
You know?
And it doesn't get touched on for a long time. But yeah, there is destruction. Like, at one point, you got to think Hulk grabs that thing and slides it up a building.
Yeah.
And destroys half a building. And I'm like, you're telling me that was empty?
Yeah, no, exactly. People are literally dying left, right, and centre. And here we have a situation where Kate, her dad dies.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of this stuff that's gone on. Her mum, her father, you know, her mum's there, manages to get to her. I do have a conspiracy theory for you.
Go on.
I'm throwing this in there early. I don't think he died in the Battle of New York. I think her mother killed him.
Ooh.
When she comes out, after not being gone long, and I appreciate it looked like a big place they were living in, silence. Her mum and dad had just vanished. Now, let me ask you this, mate, right? You're in a home. You got the kids are upstairs, for example. You and the wife are downstairs. A battle starts kicking off outside.
Yeah.
What's your first instinct as a parent?
Get the children and get the heck out.
Get to the kids. That's your first instinct. Get to the kids. She has to go looking for them, and it's silent. There's no screams. There's no shouting for her. There's no... nothing. There's just silence. So what the hell were they doing? Where were they?
That's fair.
And then she appears and she's like, "Where's Dad?" And she just doesn't say anything. Just grabs her and goes.
Yeah.
And then in all the aftermath and all the rubble, because of course before this happens, they're arguing. They're arguing over something quite serious. It's quite a big thing. Like, you know, we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose the home. And then because he's dead, they don't, because I'm guessing life insurance pays out. I don't know. I know I'm just...
Especially if you get killed by superheroes that have destroyed your building. I imagine there's quite a claim in there.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a claim there. Alien invasion. There's got to be clause 6 in the old insurance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
not an act of God. Well, it was an act of God. It was Thor, but
Thor, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's. I don't know. I wanted to throw that one in there early for you because I don't like her mother. I don't trust her.
No, I don't. I do not like that character at all.
No, I think there's sinister there. Also, anyone who runs a security company. I don't know, man.
I've never been watching a film or a TV show where the head of security is a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you. Something there. So we got to keep an eye on that. Also, the mum is engaged to a guy who loves his swords.
Yeah.
And has a well, I think they call it a duel, don't they? Is it a duel when it comes to fencing?
Yeah, the fencing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and he completely lets get. Now, Kate's a good fencer.
Yeah.
So she realises very quickly this guy knows what he's doing and he's pretending or he's not doing. You know, he's literally... So she tests him and launches at him and boom, parries it like instinct. And she's like, yeah, so you're amazing at this.
Yeah, told you.
Why are you hiding it?
His character is being painted as like the obvious bad guy.
Yeah.
Which always makes me go, he's going to be a goodie.
Now, interesting, okay?
Yeah.
Nerdy level.
Yes.
I recognised his name, but not... Like, his name's Jack, and it was something I was like, I've heard that before. I know I've heard that before.
Oh, okay.
So I Googled it.
Yeah.
A version, not Jack, but Jacques, with the same last name, is a character in Marvel Comics called the Swordsman.
Ah.
Yeah.
And he's collecting swords.
He's a villain for a time. He was a good guy for a time. So, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we've looked this guy up and we don't know. Goody, baddie, I don't know. But one of the things you just said then was interesting to me because I want to draw a parallel to you with this style of show so far in Hawkeye, right?
Yep.
More so episode 1 with the Marvel Netflix shows.
Okay.
Think about the opening credits.
Oh, her growing up in the credits. That was cool. I like that.
Even the style of music, you know, which, you know, I've incorporated into our intro this week. Anyone who can't think of it right now, go to the episode, go on YouTube, just grab the opening credits and think about it in comparison to the Marvel Netflix shows. It's very similar, very almost stylized. It's in New York, obviously very similar. Also, in those shows, there was a running theme that me and you spotted in those shows that once we spotted it became fun, but was a theme throughout, which is, there's the bad guy. Oh no, wait. That's not the bad guy. Oh no, the best friend's the bad guy.
Yep.
And that was kind of what happened in those shows, and it was great. And here we have the situation. You got her mum, loving mother, obviously loving, you know, there she is, poor widow, now met somebody else. And you got Kate, who's been brought up by her mum, clearly devoted to her mother. And you got this guy, sinister guy, the stepdad, was doing a dodgy auction, arguing with the other guy who's then murdered.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, the mother was arguing with him as well before he was murdered.
Yeah.
See,
and it's silly things like he was stabbed with a sword. Who kills people with swords? And we've just watched Jack put Clint Barton's sword in his pocket and stuff, and you're like, well, that's just too obvious.
It is, but what's fun about this is me and you can look at this and go, clearly it's him, so therefore it's not. But then the next episode, the next episode is him, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah, I knew it was him, but I told myself it wouldn't be.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it, because in some of these stories they do twist it, and some they don't, and that's why you gotta keep looking, keep your eyes on it. But I think me and you are on the same page here. I don't trust the mother. I mean, I don't trust him either, but the mother just, it feels like we're supposed to trust her, and I don't.
I get you, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, it was just an interesting discussion point, really. The personal impact on. I mean, you know, think about the countless stories of people in New York from 2012. The countless characters, and then when you bring it up to where we are in the MCU now, the blip, you know, we talked about it during the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and people, you know, whole people displaced. You know, they were living in a house, and all of a sudden someone reappeared and went, "This is my house."
Yeah.
You know, so you got massive kind of personal stories that can be told across all of what's going on in the MCU. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, see, like with this one at the moment, so we have to assume by pure luck that Kate, her mum, and the stepdad were not part of the blip.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, we're not entirely sure, but yeah.
Looking at how she's aged through it all, I'd say she wasn't.
Yeah, agreed.
The mother has aged, and there's no obvious kind of, well, you weren't here for 5 years, how would you know?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing those two were safe. We don't know about him yet, but I'm guessing those two.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't actually been mentioned. The blip itself hasn't really been mentioned.
No, it hasn't. You're right.
They've spoken about how Barton was... They've mentioned his alter ego a few times, like the news reports and stuff like that. But even they didn't say, you know, during the blip, this man was terrorising.
Oh, no, actually, I think they did. I don't think they used blip. I do think they said it, though, on the news.
Oh, did they?
I think they said during the 5 years, this man terrorised, you know, or destroyed the underworld or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. They have mentioned it. That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Because that was one of the few things I had that I was a bit like, come on, you can't just ignore.
No.
Because obviously his kids all disappeared and so did his wife.
Yeah, which is, again, the timeline-wise, it's very difficult to fully work out where everything's sitting because they're not dating anything right now. Now, we know when the blip finished, it was like 2023. You know, it shot the MCU into ahead of...
Yes.
And thanks to the pandemic, by the way, it's working out well. Perhaps Marvel Studios knew.
Yeah.
Someone keep an eye on that. Doctor Strange give him a heads up. In one of the futures I saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's like, well, where are we right now? You know, is this after Wanda? During Wanda? Did Wanda have Christmas in that place? No, I don't think she did. So where are we exactly? And I think a lot of people online have gone, well, we think it's literally at the same time as we're about to have Spider-Man, which is Christmas 2023.
Yeah,
so
because the new
kind
Spider-Man
of coincides.
The new Spider-Man takes on exactly after the last Spider-Man, which was only X amount of time after Endgame.
Yeah.
Which was about 6 years before this came out. And it's confusing me.
So by the way, nobody knows, right? Right now, nobody's sure. And I think, and I've said this to you, and I think you agree with me, I think because of Phase 4 being the multiverse and stuff being all over the place, I think they're doing it on purpose.
I believe so.
I think they're not clearing things up genuinely to keep everybody completely off kilter. I mean, at some point, maybe they'll go, look, here you go. Here's the timeline. Chill out.
Like, I'm 99% certain this is taking place in New York around Christmas. But even that...
Yeah.
There's still that 1% doubt of, but what variation of Christmas is this?
Because I'll tell you why I'm wondering is because I'm pretty sure one of the kids says, you know, this is going to be our first Christmas together in a long time.
Yes.
So I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, if this is the 2023 and they all came back in 2022... where was Clint for that Christmas?
Yeah, where was Clint last Christmas? And if they were away in the blip, how do they know they missed so many Christmases?
Yeah.
They didn't miss any Christmases.
Yeah, perhaps. So it's odd. Odd. So hopefully over the next few episodes we might get a few more clues. We might get a little bit more on that.
There's going to be a newspaper article and the year's going to be 2031 and we'll be there
we're just going to absolutely freak. I don't think we can discuss these two episodes without talking about Rogers the Musical, can we?
No. Oh, that looks awful.
I could do this all day.
It's one of those things where I was sat on the sofa and I was like, this looks terrible. Yet if it was real, I know I'd go see it.
So many people online said that. It was like, oh, that looks so terrible, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I know exactly what you mean. Just like
and Hulk smash!
It's the way he turned... Yeah, oh yeah, so this is an interesting way to tell us. Hawkeye's going deaf. This steers into his character in the comics.
Because in the comics, he's completely deaf.
Yeah, so this is pointing us this way. I loved how they did it. They didn't make a big deal. They didn't like have him gradually going deaf and it being a big issue for us in the season. It was, no, he's got a hearing aid. And when someone like said
Dad,
to him about
did you turn your hearing aid off again? What?
Yeah, yeah, he turned it off. Like Ant-Man wasn't even there.
Yeah.
But then he then goes outside, and I think someone says like, how did you lose your hearing to him at some point? And he does this montage of basically every explosion that's happened next to Clint in the MCU.
Yes.
And he just goes, there's been some stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, realistically, yeah, he has been next to so many explosions, blipping backwards and forwards in time.
It's like, no, let alone death. The guy's got serious psychological damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really well done because it's there, and it's there instantly, and it's perfectly plausible. It's everyone's kind of gone, oh wow, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and
poor bastard. Yeah,
and it also humanises him again. This is a guy who at one point says, "We're fighting robots. There's a guy who's a god with a hammer, a guy in an iron suit, and I'm running around with a bow and arrow."
Yes.
Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
And he is just a human guy, and it humanises him again that, Steve Rogers was a super soldier. He probably wouldn't go in death from explosions. Tony had the Iron Man suit. Thor was the god of thunder. Hulk. And yet he's got his ears ringing,
Yeah.
His ears are bleeding.
Who's there? How are you guys stood next to this? Ultron just blew up all that. They're like, what?
Yeah. How you doing, Clint? Hey, what did he call me? Yeah. So I like that. I like that aspect of the character, and I think that's going to be interesting going forward. I like the Rogers the musical thing was funny. I like that. Also, just by throwing that in, you kind of set up something fun for all the trailers, didn't it?
Yes.
Even if you just see around New York Rogers the musical signs everywhere. I enjoyed that. That was funny. We get to see grown up Kate. I want us to just talk about grown up Kate bringing down that bell tower. One of the things that made me laugh about that was I caught a Twitter thread after the episode aired. So I watched both of them, and because I tried to avoid the threads of discussion until I'd watched them both for obvious reasons.
Okay.
And I found one, and someone said, in the comics, that tower, and apparently in the MCU as well, was named after the villain from Iron Man 1.
Oh.
Can you remember his name? It's gone clean out of my head, the guy. But basically,
the Ironmonger.
No, yeah, but his name. Basically, the tower, he'd obviously donated money to the school, and they built that tower and everything. So this show kind of gave a little bit of a nod to the creation of Iron Man by bringing down that guy's bell tower like straight away.
That is clever.
So that was kind of fun. I also, one of the things I liked as well is obviously her mates are kind of regging her on. She's this great archer. That's very plausible, very, very true. If you've got a certain skill and you've got mates, they are going to egg you on to do that, whatever the hell that skill is. Obadiah. Yeah, what was his surname?
Obadiah Stan.
Okay, so yeah, that was the tower. It was like the Stand, whatever it is, Bell Tower it was called. Yes, and that's what it was called in the comics, and yeah, Kate destroyed it in the MCU.
Which is cool.
Very cool, yeah. It's
the way she stands there. She's like, it's fine. Crumbles a bit more. Yeah. It's fine. Crumbles more. Ah, crap.
It's the way I would have loved the line, like a security guard stops her. I just loved her line to look over her shoulder and just go like, it was like that when I got here. Yeah, I don't know what's gone on here. Ignore my bow and all these arrows. Yeah, but I like the fact
there was pigeons. I was getting them off.
But I like the fact she fired the arrow. It made the pig didn't do anything. So then she adjusted. Think about Hawkeye with all the trick arrows and stuff. So she's basically almost created her own trick arrows to achieve what she wanted to achieve.
And she done it so cool, like the little rubbish picker upper. Attach that to it and go.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was fun. That was fun. It was a fun little silly moment to introduce her to us. One of the things, obviously, high society, we touched on it earlier, the stepdad bidding on sort of underground art and collectibles, which is a very high society thing to sort of do. You know, it's funny, like, all of us have this idea that all rich people are also villains. You know, they're all a bit villainous, you know, a bit of
I'm not saying
trading.
You're correct, but I'm also not saying it's not true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The aristocracy, they're all dodgy, basically. And the Ronin costume appears. So there's two parts to this. One, how did that not... Why did Clint not have it anymore? I hope at some point we find that out.
That is in my notes.
And two, it's just such a weird thing. But at the same time, you could imagine people with more money than sense being like, oh, I could own the Ronin costume. The Ronin that, like, murdered everyone. And not just the costume, but the sword.
Yeah.
And so... What the hell, Clint? Did you just, like, leave it in a locker? Which,
this
by the
is
way,
what's my notes. My notes are literally like, were they stolen? Did he give them away?
Yeah.
Because last time we saw him in that costume, Black Widow was bringing him in.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't you anymore. What did he do? Just strip in the street and go, nope, you're right, it's not me anymore.
You're right, yeah. I am balls out an Avenger again. Yeah, thanks, Clint. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But... one of the things I liked, right, and this is so hopefully we're going to get that filled in. Hopefully we'll get a bit of info on that. But one of the things that we've always known about Clint is he's a family man.
Yeah.
And we get introduced to his family in the second Avengers film. You know, Nick Fury helps him keep them safe and everything like that. One of the things that's interesting is Natasha knows about them. You know, she's friends. Nat's friends with his wife. You know, talking about the baby and stuff like that. And one of the closeness, his love for them is what breaks him. And he becomes Ronin. And then when they're back, you know, he's able to heal. But clearly he is troubled by what happened during that time.
There's a lot
and
of
he's troubled, very troubled by how people keep referring to him as a hero. You know, he's in a restaurant with his kids and the guy's like, no, dinner's on us. You saved our city. And he's like, no, let me pay. And you're like, no. And I think he's troubled by that. I think people treating him like a hero, he doesn't see himself as that anymore because of his time as a Ronin.
Yeah.
So the world doesn't know. Nobody knows he was Ronin. Obviously the Avengers know, you know, because Rhodey was trying to track him down. He knew who it was. Nat obviously knew.
Yeah.
But what I loved is his wife clearly knew. So clearly he told her. When she came back and they got back together and he clearly told her. He told her everything.
Yeah, that would have been a heck of a conversation around the dinner table.
Yeah, so...
Kids, go to bed. Me and your mother need to talk.
Yeah, so the 5 years I was gone, did you meet anyone? You know, I won't blame you if you did. No, I didn't meet anyone. What did you do for 5 years? I murdered people. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Well, you see, you got clipped away, and loads of bad people were left. So, you know, they got Thanos, but, you know, the bad people got me. I was called Ronin, and I just murdered everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah, everyone. Just with a sword, just dead.
Yeah. You know that those people that were pickpocketing? Not anymore.
Yeah.
A bloke. It started with a guy stealing a car, and it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, there was that kid spray painting, and I thought, no, I'm going to take your hands. But, you know, he screamed a lot, so dead. Yeah, you just like, you did this for 5 years. Well, 4 and a bit. Nat finally caught up with me and said, there's a chance to bring you back. And I was like, oh, don't give me hope, you know, because I was hopeless. And I just done some murdering, just done some good murdering. But clearly they did have this conversation, and clearly she loves him and is forgiven him and you know, and she's talking to him like, you know, you're trying to find the suit, you know, and so she's fully upset, and I loved that. He's not keeping anything from her. Obviously he's not telling the kids,
no,
but his wife completely knows, like, okay, you know, you need a couple more days, that's fine, don't worry, you can make it, don't worry. Mate, I don't know about you, but I just love that. In too many TV shows and everything, there's angst between the husband and the wife and the relationship. With this, he's told her everything, and she's being a rock for him, which shows what a strong character she is as well. Love that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of love to just kind of go, oh, okay, no worries.
So you were a straight up murderer for 5 years. Interesting. But I mean, it was all bad people.
Yeah.
So really, he just went a bit more extreme than Hawkeye. Hawkeye took down bad guys. Some people definitely got killed by Hawkeye. And Ronan just killed.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Do you remember that scene in the Avengers when Brody's like, nah, I'm in this Mexican and there's just bodies everywhere. We may not want to find him.
Yeah, yeah, he really did go all out, to be fair to him.
Yeah, there's a lot of death. A lot of death. It looks like Deadpool's been in here. So there's that aspect to it, and he's trying to find, this thing, but Kate grabs it now. Sorry, this underworld auction gets attacked. Someone's attacking it to try and steal stuff.
Yep.
In the kind of melee that's going on, you see the stepdad take the sword.
Yep.
We clock that, dodgy git. But Kate takes the Ronin suit because she's decided she's going to put it on and fight the criminals that are there.
Yeah, because who doesn't think that straight away?
What I find interesting about this is Kate hero worships Hawkeye.
Yes.
Hawkeye is Kate's idol. Very, very much so. She doesn't know that Ronan was him. She doesn't know that Clint was Ronan.
No, that's going to be a fun conversation if that comes out.
Yeah.
Because at some point she's going to have to turn around and go, why are you so desperate for this suit?
Yeah, and that for me is an interesting thing that I'm hoping is going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be him that tells her. Let's say, for example, we do get Yelena come in. I think Yelena's going to say it.
Ooh, yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, you introduce Yelena and Clint are obviously going to have a bit of a Barney to start with, at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll calm down enough that it turns to talking rather than trying to kill. And at that point, I think perhaps she's going to be like, oh, right, so you're going to be Ronin again, are you? Or is it Hawkeye this week? And poor Kate's going to be like, what?
Yeah, wait a minute. What?
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, of course, that could go one of two ways, because she could be like, brilliant, I love that guy, which would be dark and a little worrying. But yeah, so anyway, so she puts on a suit and starts fighting the bad guys. Two parts of this. One, the suit doesn't fit right, and I like that.
Oh, gosh, if that had been a perfect fit, I'd have been so annoyed.
If she put it on, it's like, perfectly hugging her figure, It's just like, okay, when we see these two side by side, they better be identical, or,
I never knew Clint had a bosoms that fitted that costume
exactly,
so well.
Yeah. Clearly Clint's far bustier than we ever realised. So I like that. It didn't fit properly, and when she was moving, you could see it all over the place. So, good, well done. The other aspect is as well, she has got no experience at all of this. She's clearly very skilled, martial arts, all these different things. We watched the opening montage of her basically just training her whole life, in essence, to be Hawkeye, or to be like Hawkeye in every aspect. So she's clearly skilled, clearly got all that, but she does get her ass handed to her a fair bit in this, and that's what should happen. That's realistic. You don't just train in a gymnasium for years and then suddenly be able to fight 10 guys at once.
But it's one of those typical kind of film things that we always laugh about.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure if I got kicked in the stomach so hard that I flew against a wall, I would not be jumping back up to get back into that fight. That's when you're like, play dead, I'm dead, play dead.
I think that made it. I like the play dead part. I don't think you're going to qualify for the Avengers anytime soon.
No. That first punch that hits me, I'm like, I'm dead.
Steve Rogers getting back up, I could do this all day, and you're on the ground. I'm dead.
That hurt. you can move on. Might have cracked a rib. I'm out.
Thanos, you win, dude. You win. Don't need your army. I've surrendered.
You have the Avengers. I'm the surrender. This is fine.
The thing I'd say, and the thing I like, is in the moment, adrenaline's nightmare. You don't feel it. Of course you feel it, but it's when the adrenaline wears off. And what I liked is Clint in this. He's like, right, we need to get supplies. He isn't off to get weapons or anything like that. He's off to get painkillers, bandages, everything like that. Because again, he knows when that adrenaline wears off, he is going to be in agony.
Yeah.
And she is going to be in pain. But what did you think? So we've just discussed the fact that she's not experienced and she's tried to fight these guys, and she's done really well, held her own, more than held her own, but is obviously overpowered. In the street, that's even more evident.
Yeah.
And then Clint shows up. And Clint wipes the floor with them.
He is very experienced, that man.
Exactly. That's and I think that's the difference. And I think that's the aspect you need to put across, because I read online, it's like, here we go, a typical chauvinistic story of the man showing up to save the day. And I'm like, I don't see that. I don't see it as that at all. I see it as she was holding her own, but the guy who is far more, like Natasha, Yelena could have showed up and done the same thing. Do you know what I mean? This isn't a man showing up thing. This is just a more experienced character with all the skill set that you need and experience of fighting these types of guys, or far worse than these guys. And he just nails them. Done. Dealt with. And drags her off out of the car. And he's about to kick the crap out of her. Pulls the mask off, sees it's a woman. He's like, what? And that's the end of episode 1.
I think it's more the fact that it's not even the fact that it's a woman, it's the fact that it's a kid.
Yeah.
It's just like, give me a break. Seriously?
You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But that was a great ending to episode. I'm also delighted they released episodes 1 and 2 together, because if that had been the end of episode 1, I'd been waiting a week, I'd have been so mad.
Can you imagine?
Titled it,
give me more.
Meet Your Heroes, and she meets him by him threatening to punch her in the face. She's like, "Oh, you're Hawkeye," which is great. What did you think about her basically from that moment assuming they're best friends?
Yeah, that's a typical like kid thing as well, isn't it? It's like, you're my best friend now, you're my hero, we're best buddies.
Yeah, do you not? I mean, I don't know about you, but I was just smiling. I was laughing at it. It was just so funny. Like, she's talking to him like they've known each other their whole lives, and he's basically just like, look, I'm walking you there, and then I'm leaving.
Yeah, he's literally like, shut up, kid, just keep walking. Like,
just go do this. And she's like, okay, you're keeping your eye out for everyone. He's like, yeah, something like that. Just get back in. just get in this place.
Yeah. Who knows where you are? Well, my name's on the door. Kids.
Yeah. The firebomb thing, we saw it in the trailer where he catches it and throws the one back.
And it's still just as cool, even though we've seen it in the trailer.
Still so cool. When he smashes the window, loved it. There's also the aspect which, again, just really, really making me laugh. The whole kind of dialogue between the two whilst it's happening. She's kind of like, we can fight fires like an arrow off out of the building to explode one of them, and he's just looking at her like, what are you doing? just knock it off.
Just stop a minute.
It was great. I mean, I loved it. The running chemistry is very difficult, isn't it? Chemistry between two actors is tough. It's very rare you see it instant, very instant. Yeah. And in this, these two are great.
It's one of those things with actors.
From the first scene.
You either have an instant chemistry and it works brilliantly, or you can kind of tell it's a bit of a forced thing. And these two just look so natural, just kind of like it's just flowing.
Yeah, and it just so funny, but they're not funny like ha laughing, but just smiling because it's quite joyful. Her texting him so he gives her a number. He's like, "This is emergencies.
I'll call you later." No, you won't.
He's like, if you keep ringing me or texting me, I will delete and block you. He's like just so matter of fact. She's like, yeah, sure, and then starts texting him, "Missing me yet?"
Yeah, don't lie. I know you are.
Yeah, you hanging out with all your friends. Ha, don't lie. I know you've not got any.
That's it. Yeah.
Like, oh my god, you are literally acting like this guy is your best mate, and you've just met him. It's hilarious. It is so funny. Just the interactions between the two is great. But probably the funniest thing in episode 2, and the thing you cannot possibly ignore, dude.
Yep.
Hawkeye went LARPing.
Yeah, he did.
Everything about this was joyful. So, just to set it up, I know everyone's seen it, but just to set it up, Hawkeye had to run out of the building, leaving the suit there because it was on fire, making sure Kate got out safely. He was fine. He'll come back. How smooth was he getting back into the building, by the way?
Oh, it was brilliant. I'll grab this jacket,
just walked up. Yep. Just walked up. No issue. Straight in, straight out. It's gone. Where could it possibly be gone? He sees a LARP sign on the side of one of the fire trucks. Oh. So one of the firemen seen this costume, thought, I'll have that from my LARPing, takes it.
I mean, just stop in there for a second. The fact that I can just imagine, big, manly firefighter. Cosplay.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's like when he gets her and the woman says, look, this is a park full of mostly cops and firefighters off duty, having fun, decompressing. I know who you are, but you don't want to be breaking the rules.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what do I have to do? He's just so
don't
so
forget
resigned.
your armor.
Yeah, and here's your scroll with your quest and everything. He's like, what do I do with this? Like, that is your life.
Yeah.
He's like, and he wanders through,
it's
wandering,
like killing
wandering.
him on the inside.
Yeah, people are like swinging at him, and he's just like, one move, they're dead.
I mean, he definitely, you can see a smile on his face as he's just destroying everyone in one move.
The one when he kneels and swings, and like 6 people are all out, and they're all like, oh, and he just stands back up again, like, oh.
This is more fun with a real blade. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets to this guy and he's like, look, I don't gonna hit you. I don't want to hit you, but that's mine. Or they're like, no, you need to take that off. He doesn't say it's mine, sorry. He definitely doesn't say that. But he's like, you need to take that off. That needs to go. It's dangerous. The guy,
let me
kill you. and he just, again, it's this, oh, okay.
He just stands there. No. We've got to make it look real.
Yeah. But the thing I liked about that is he does do it. And he does hand it over. The guy just happily hands it over to him straight away afterwards.
I killed Hawkeye. Best day of my life.
Oh, it just is. And it just, this, and he has to return the things. And he's like, oh yeah, you got to return them. They will charge you.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, what? This is Hawkeye, one of the Avengers, saved the planet, saved billions across the galaxy, and here he is having to LARP to get a costume back.
And then making sure he returns his sword and costume because they will charge his credit card.
Yeah. Just fun. I like, again, just smiling, and I love that because the overall theme of the two shows as well is Christmas. The set is Christmas. You've got Christmas sounding music. Even the intro's got Christmas bells on it.
Yep.
Me and you were like, when we saw the show, the first trailer for it, we're like, oh wow, it's definitely going to be a very Christmas show.
It's the Marvel does Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah, action at Christmas. Marvel does Die Hard. But mate, I don't know about you, but I just find it really joyful again. Just really joyful, fun, all the aspects of it, but with a great story that's running.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Clint getting captured on purpose thing, right? So he's talking to his wife and he's like, oh, I'm going to do a bit of catch and release.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. And the tracksuit mafia, and even she makes fun of them, like, oh no, not those guys. And he's like, yeah, those guys. And so Kate's trying to text him because they're now best mates with Kate. He's got himself captured on purpose because he wants to talk to their boss.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at this. But Kate decides she's going to save him.
Yeah, it's Hawkeye. He must need rescuing.
Did you see the kind of not similarity, but a kind of like homage almost to the scene in Avengers where Nat is being interrogated, but in reality she's getting the information out of them while she's strapped to the chair.
Yeah, she tells them like, I am going to do this, and then this is going to happen, and I'm going to walk out of here. Yeah.
And he's in the chair, he's tied down, they've got all the guns on him and everything like that. But actually, when you're watching it, he's getting the info. He's finding out who the boss is, what's going on. They're just giving him everything. He's basically pulling a Nat in this instance. Clearly, they were both trained to do it. It's just really funny to me.
Yeah.
And then she falls through the roof just after he's like, I don't know a Kate Bishop. I don't know what you're talking about. Boom! She lands there. Oh, I didn't realise they were bringing guns.
Yeah, it's like, oh, damn.
Okay, and then so they're both tied up now. They're both in these chairs.
Yep.
The tracksuit mafia guy goes off to get his boss now, and he goes in and there's a woman, and the woman's clearly deaf.
Yep.
And this woman is a character called Echo.
Yes.
And that's the end.
Yep.
What do you think, man?
I am really enjoying it so far. It's not quite what I expected.
Oh, okay. What was your expectation?
I thought a lot more slapstick comedy.
Okay.
And I'm actually really glad it's not.
Yeah.
I was really worried that it was going to go, looking at what we've had so far, I was really worried that this was going to go down the kind of, where we've seen the adverts so far, and like, oh, it's a Christmas fun thing, ha ha. Yeah. I was really dreading that it was going to be like slapstick comedy almost.
Almost Home Alone.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Fantastical action and laughing. And No, I know what you mean. And I think the trailers kind of deliberately made it festive-y and kind of...
Yeah.
Everyone is happy, it's Christmas, but then once you get into it, you're kind of like, okay, there is a real story, a real tone to it, a real thing. But yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed both episodes. I don't think, that was my bullet points of things I wanted to kind of chat about. Is there anything that I've missed, do you think?
There's a couple of, like, the fun bits in it, as I say. Some of the quotes that go between each other.
Yeah.
So obviously they're walking down the street, and it's like, Mummy, a superhero. The fact Hawkeye turns around and goes, no, that's Katniss Everdeen. I'm like, well, that's the Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So, what universe is this all set in?
No, I love that. I love that.
It's like, that's your problem. It's branding. No, my problem's you.
yeah. Again, it's just being his best, but they've known each other their whole lives, clearly. Yeah. But it's funny because she's obviously hero worshipped him so much that she probably feels like she has known him her whole life.
Yeah.
So she's blurting out all these things to him, and he's just like, seriously, who are you?
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to be late to work because of you. No, you're going to be alive because of me.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think what the other one was. When they arrive at the door, and she says something about many people call me the best living archer. And he's like, many people, you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just yourself.
Yeah. Is it you that says that? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. He does another one. It's like when he asks how old he is, it's like, what are you, like 18? I'm 22 or something. He's like, same thing. And I'm like,
same thing. Yeah, it's funny because when you're that age, that's big. That's such a huge difference.
I'm 22. No, you're a kid.
When you're in your 30s, 18, it's the same thing. Whatever.
Yeah, you're still just a kid.
And Hawkeye is the same age as the actor, so he's pushing 50.
Gee,
can you believe Jeremy Renner's nearly 50?
Man, I'd love to be almost that age. You know, like, he looks that good. I look this bad at 31.
Yeah. If I looked like him at that age, I'd be very happy, man. But yeah, that's it. That is our show. That is Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We will be back next Monday. So that'll be Monday the 6th of December, which will be talking about episode 3. And we will be each Monday going forward. Marvel Monday. There is a rumor going around at the moment that the Eternals is going to release to Disney Plus just before Christmas as well, around the 20th of December. So look out for our show for that. We do tend to wait for it to hit general release before we talk about it, so that way the maximum amount of people would have seen it.
Yep, don't want people to miss out and get spoilers.
Exactly. So that's out there. But yeah, Marvel Monday is going to roll on with Hawkeye. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, we will be covering The World Beyond and also Fear the Walking Dead 7 Part A. We're going to be covering both of those shows in one-off episodes that are coming up. We'll have a Walking Dead Wednesday and a Fear on Friday, covering The World Beyond and covering Fear up to date. And then when Fear returns in the new year, we'll go back to being episodic on that one.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on our Facebook page. The Facebook page is about to become very active, talking about The Witcher. The Witcher's returning very soon.
Excited
and
for that
all
one.
Sorts of other shows. The Boys Season 3, Umbrella Academy Season 3 are both completely done now, just awaiting air dates. So you can expect some trailers in the next week or so.
They've
hopefully
dropped
telling
a
us when they
teaser
will
trailer
be.
for Umbrella Academy, which is literally just a picture of an umbrella and some birds next to it with 2022, and I'm like, that's not enough.
That is not enough, no. It would appear that I think they're going to try and capitalise on the post of Boba Fett, which was the next thing I was going to discuss. As Hawkeye finishes, the book of Boba Fett does open. So Star Wars is returning to this podcast. We will be talking about the book of Boba Fett episodically as they drop.
Yep.
Very much looking forward to that one as well. So yeah, loads going on this podcast, loads going on the Facebook page. Be sure to check it out going forward. You can find it facebook.com/stuffandthangspodcast. A link to it is in the podcast description. Until we talk again, everyone take care.
What do you mean there's no after credit scenes? What?
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.